Designing AI-ready APIs with APIOps cycles. Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Marjukka. I'm the founding partner of Osaango, and we are an API consulting and training company. And the one thing that we do is consult and train with APIOps cycles, an open method that we created together with a lot of partners. And I'm also the co-author of the book API Economy 101 that is centered to API economy and how to create business-led APIs and ecosystems. So I want to first talk to you about the chaos we all have created at one point or another when working with APIs. But now we also have the LLMs, the AI, the agentic AIs, everything new or fairly recent, and they are taking over. They're everywhere. We have autonomous teams releasing APIs at warp speed, or hoping at least to release them at warp speed. Multi-cloud, multiple platforms. We need to think about API management, API gateways, security, latency, and all those difficult things that make or break our APIs. And the governance just can't keep up. So what do? We should be doing API products. We should be applying API mindset and product thinking and business goals, but they seem to be quite distant from APIs. So maybe this picture here describes your situation where, another mystery API just went public and you don't know why, who's owning it. There are no docs. Everything is just, basically failing. Maybe not at first, but, at some point when consumers of the API actually start using it and it's needing to scale up. But the honest truth is that you can't fix strategy with Swagger, or actually what is called nowadays Open API. Your API should be reusable, understandable, and aligned. But how do you do that? Well, in Finnish, we have this cool word apinamaista, so ape-like or ape-ish. But the point is that API business is really no monkey business. It is not ape-like business. You really need to think about it. You need to plan for it. It doesn't happen accidentally. So how do you then do that? One of the answers may be APIOps cycles. It is a method that aligns strategy with execution. Think of it as a shared language or roadmap for making great APIs, or actually a shared language and method to make the roadmap for making great APIs, but also guiding your processes, your ways of working, and also all those other teams, the other people around you in the organization who have a huge impact in enabling you to do really great and business-led APIs. So we use this metro map of the API lifecycle. We have these core stations with exit and entry criteria described on the website, apiopscycles.com. And you have API product strategy, you have designing APIs, consumer experience, platform architecture, a lot of things that make sense for both product managers, architects, API management and governance professionals, and API developers. Now, these metro lines that go out from the central core circular station or line are these kind of supporting lines, supporting, enabling parts of the organization, process of the organization. They really need to be there in an API-like fashion to help you out to really deal with your API lifecycle in the teams where you actually create those APIs. And to help all of that and all of these different people to align and collaborate because of their different languages, their different backgrounds, their different professions, we have these canvases and checklists in the method to help collaboration and quality. And as I mentioned at some point maybe, it is open source, so it is all openly licensed. So you might wonder what's the impact of this kind of method? Why would we, start using it or connect it to our own organization's methods of doing software? So the impact is really big. And as you can see maybe on the map, this method has fans all over the world. I haven't even been into all those places, but the method has. So there are lots of financial organizations, public sector organizations, lots of different industries and team sizes that use this method in one way or another. And some of the cases I can state here is an European device management company, US-based SaaS company, Australian finance company, and a Brazilian API platform company that has even integrated it into their product. But it's not only for humans. I mean, yes, humans still do a lot of the API design work, but actually a lot of the APIs are also consumed by AI. And humans have similar but still different needs to the AI consumers. So humans need documentation. Well, AI also needs documentation about your API, but even more, it needs structured data. And humans can ask Slack questions. Of course, you can have an AI who also asks Slack questions, but in the end, it only knows what has been published or what has been given to it, and it has access to it. You have humans that have flexible interpretation of all the guidelines and docs and everything else you provide them. And humans can understand things very differently. But on the other hand, AI can hallucinate very convincingly without clarity. So AI can be, assuming that it knows what your API is doing. So all of this is interesting, but all of those API consumers, human or AI, are also intending to help with a human journey. So typically, you would have customers in any organization or partners. These customers may or may not want to use any kind of APIs or AIs directly. They might be very indirect users of them, but still, your organization exists to support these customers. So we have a customer journey canvas in the APIOps cycles method. Of course, you could use any customer journey canvas, but we have one that kind of tries to tie in with the API specific design and canvases in the later stages. And what's more, now we also have these canvases in a structured data format. And I just said that AI likes structured data. So basically, you can use AI to help you design the APIs using the canvases that humans can understand and collaborate on. So you can even use AI to get some ideas on what kind of APIs you should be designing, or rather, what kind of customer experiences you should be designing, and then designing the APIs for those. And this Canvas Creator is part of the apiopscycles.com, and it's also openly licensed, so you can contribute to it. And you can see the link here. And the canvases are currently available in Finnish, German, and English. And you are welcome to help us localize them even more to your needs. Now, how to make your APIs AI ready, or better even for human developers to consume. So you should have, of course, predictable naming. You should have monitoring and traceability. Lifecycle status should be clear, like is this published or retired, or a draft, or what is this API? What is the state of this API? How is it versioned? And the open API specs, if you are using them, should be really rich. They should have a lot of detail and information, and you should have really clear responses and examples of those responses, so human and AI in particular would understand. And these arrows point to the stations in the metro map where they are particularly happening, that you get all these good things into your API design and lifecycle. Now, traveling the metro map for improving your API designs and API business alignment and so forth is relevant to your current state and goals. So this map here is showing a bunch of responders from the APIdays Helsinki and North actually event that said, these are the pain points that we have in our life cycle or in our API metro map, and we should probably improve these. So the idea is that depending on your goals, like, do you want to track API success or improvement needs, or do you know what happens after you publish your API, who's going to use it, or does your documentation reach your API consumers? Is it enough, or should you improve that? How consistent are your API design and security practice? Depending on all those goals and those kind of situations where you are in, you should concentrate on those lines and those stations and fix those practices first, and then try to do more after you are in a more stable sense. And here are some examples of where you could concentrate on depending on your situation. So, for example, if you're a startup or first creating a first team API, or you're a team in an enterprise where you're just concerned about creating your API, you should concentrate on the kind of core line, the circle line here, and getting your API done. But that is expecting a lot of the other lines to support you in some way at least. But then if you're scaling the enterprise, you should be concentrating on the API platform architecture, maybe the operations line, the blue line here. And even if you're doing a legacy redesign, you could be looking at it more strategically and not just lift and shift, and take a look at these kind of new things that might guide you to improve your legacy API in a strategic way and aligning to your organizational needs and architecture guidelines. So basically, remember, this is a journey. Start simply, start small, collaborate, share your map with your team, identify areas for improvement. Don't try to do all at once, and then scale. Use API cycles to scale your API products across teams and ecosystems. You all have a shared map. Your team, your organization, your vendors, your partners, your customers, they can all use this as a kind of shared language, shared collaboration model. So please follow the method in LinkedIn, so APIOps Cycles LinkedIn page, or subscribe at the apiopscycles.com website to the mailing list. Thank you for listening to the method story, and maybe you are going to try it on your own. Thank you.